From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, time once again for another edition of The Horse's Mouth. Here at Tommy Max, of course, at my bar where everyone has a seat and tells their story, and it's a wonderful thing. Brought to you by our good friends at the Heritage Capital Group and at Client Focus Media. Brian Sexton, my pal, is here, and so are some wine connoisseurs. Emily and Peter Mitalas from Florida Vino Imports join us at the bar. How are you? Emily, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Peter,
Tom,
great
nice
to meet you. Brian, always a pleasure.
Oh, it's my pleasure today.
No doubt. You sat right up for that one, didn't you?
I wasn't going to miss this.
First of all, thank you both for your service in the Navy. We really appreciate that you're here on the show. And tell us about what you're doing with Florida Vino. So it's an interesting story.
Yeah, Tom. So a couple of years ago, I was doing my last tour in the Navy, so we moved over to Naples, Italy, and did the overseas family adventure. So family of 5, we got 3 young kids.
All right.
Dragged them over there for 3 years, and as part of getting into the culture there, the wine was a big part of it. So living in Naples, and which is the Campania region, we quickly discovered there are a lot of great wines that we'd never seen in the American market.
Okay.
So we said, why not? Why don't we see these in the American market?
Yep.
So we did some more research and we decided, hey, when I retire and we move back to the First Coast, let's bring these wines back. Yeah. And so on the way back, we got licensed to be an importer and a distributor here for the state of Florida.
Wow.
And here we go. We're now at Florida Vino Imports, starting out with 3 wineries from the Campania region. We've brought 2 of them today to taste, and between Bellaria, Sorrentino, and Tomazzoni. Those are the 3 wineries that we're
Beautiful.
working with.
So when you first got started to be the import, was that a long process? Did you go to the owners of the vineyard and say, hey, we could bring this to America, help you out? And how long was all that? Was there a lot of red tape? What's that like?
The one good thing that came from COVID in Italy was when we were sitting in our living room and having to do wine tastings actually in our living room. Okay. We have them shipped to us. And so as we were sitting there doing this, we thought this is actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
we started investigating afterwards and we've been to all of these wineries and started speaking with the wineries and started, when he retired, started applying for our importing and distributing license.
Okay.
Yeah, and went through a little bit of tape. The federal and the state level, of course, use a business attorney for that.
Okay.
But being a military man that's dealt with a lot of red tape,
Right. They couldn't take away your spirit.
So I had the objective to meet, so we got there, and yeah, it's great. So we're already in the market here, and with that, Emily will introduce 3 of the wines that we brought. Typically taste from white to red, from lower alcohol content to higher alcohol content.
Okay.
So with that, Emily, let's do it.
Let it rip. Absolutely.
So the first is going to be the Falanghina from Bellaria. Bellaria is a winery that we actually did Peter's retirement, one of his dinners there, and had an amazing time.
Cool.
But it is in the mountains outside of Naples. And this is got a 13.5% alcohol.
Okay.
And this goes well with fish, seafood, on a hot summer day, especially.
Absolutely.
So,
refreshing.
Yes. So, side note with all of these wines as well is that the Italian wines are known for having very, very low sulfite content.
Okay, good.
So
Keeps the headaches away.
That's right.
keeps the headaches
you're
away.
right.
Yes.
You're right.
When we came back, first week being back stateside, the headaches were abundant.
Right.
So take a taste of this.
Yeah, it's very good.
And imagine on a summer afternoon, having with seafood.
Absolutely. Cooking out on the grill.
Listen, I can taste this with chicken right now.
Yes.
I mean, a spicy chicken, something that maybe you've rotisserie for a while.
Yeah.
I drink it with everything, though.
What's your guys' favorite? Do you guys have a favorite that you've picked up?
Well, so they're all our children, right? Because we personally
of course,
select
gotta
them,
love
right?
them all the same.
And we'll talk about, so the Falanghina is a local grape there to Campania. We move into the Ionico grape, which is also local to the Campania region, also found in Basilicata, which is the next region down. Okay. But the Ionico, really, what's the 2 varietals that come out of that, for the most part, is the Bellaria Ionico from the mountains up there. But everywhere that grape is taken, because it's really, they call it the Vino di Tavola, it's the local wine that goes to the table in Italy. So we do have an Ionico that's grown up in the mountains. We also have from Sorrentino, we have their version that's grown down the slopes of Vesuvius too. So it takes on Italian wines really take on the character of the soils, volcanic soils, the tuff, that's the rock, and the areas that they're grown in. But the Ionico, to answer is it's fantastic. They also make a Taurasi. It's got to be grown in vineyards around that little specific area. And that's also called
excellent.
the Pearl of the
This
South.
is a fantastic
It does.
nose
Nose
to it.
to
I
nose,
mean,
yes.
it just creeps right up into your senses.
Yeah, it's nice.
You can tell the dark fruit.
Yeah.
What is it that there's something different to this one though? There's an earthiness.
Brian's
to it.
getting really intimate
Yeah,
with the
that's-
wine, Coach.
I really like. Listen, I just spent a weekend in Napa, and they had to drag me out of there.
Nice.
But I didn't smell anything.
So how do
So
you...
it's the minerality of the region. It's
Yeah.
volcanic soil
There you
that
go.
you're smelling, and you're actually tasting. As you get closer to Mount Vesuvius, you'll taste the more mineral, more earthy flavors.
So how about distributing it throughout Florida? Because that's where you license.
Yes.
Is that do you hook up with like a Southern Wine and Spirits type or something
No,
like that?
we're
You're
on a distributor, so we go direct and sell
Okay.
direct to the retailer. So we've started
Okay.
obviously on a smaller scale family operation retail
Okay.
here on the First Coast.
Okay.
We're licensed for the entire state, so any
Cool.
restaurant down in South Beach, which
Yeah.
there's one we're working with right now, can reach out.
Okay.
And from everywhere from Italy in out to the warehouse down to them, we can do business and deliver to them.
What
So
kind of price points are we talking to the consumer?
everything from the price points anywhere from about 15 per bottle all the way up to our high end, the Taurasi Reserva, which is the Ionico Taurasi Reserva, will come across a price point over 100 there. So
Okay.
we have broad spectrum.
Nice wine, yeah.
But everything to fit for whatever it's a
Yeah.
wine tasting place or restaurant. We've got something to pair, whether it's the place that wants to serve the cooling drink out there on a hot summer afternoon.
Yep.
And then of course back to the Ionico really is broad spectrum. So you were mentioning some of the foods. The Italians have built their wines over thousands of years to pair with their foods across all 20 regions. So
Sure.
you can think about that. Brian was pointing out chicken, right?
Yeah.
So think about with this one too. You can go broad spectrum from your early like antipasta with the cheeses all the way into, I've used that with steaks too, especially
heck
like
yeah.
the Taurasi version of that
Yeah,
with
sure.
steaks. Really, as we go into the
Yeah, what's the final
Tomazzoni
one we're
too.
going to talk about here? What's
Yeah,
this
so
guy?
Tomazzoni, we're going out to the
I
island.
was hoping
Ischia.
that was the Tomazzoni. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a wine snob.
Yeah, so this
good.
is out on the island of
Sounds
Ischia.
good.
So Lucia, she's the winemaker out there. She's got these beautiful labels. So she's taken, there's
Oh, that's
85%
That's really good.
of Piedi Rosso. So Piedi Rosso is literally red foot in Italian because the vine looks like a pigeon's foot. So they also
Okay.
call it Peripalumo, which is local dialect for basically like pigeon's foot. 85% of that's a good grape because it does take on that sense of the volcanic soils and gives you a really earthy taste there.
Okay.
Now she's also put 15% because this is the first blend we've brought in today. 15% Cabernet Sauvignon that she's brought in.
Okay.
And so you maybe can sense that in the finish. That builds the structure and the tannins on the wine there too.
Yeah.
So this one has actually been. You mentioned you were in Napa. That's meeting the American palates. This one's really selling well in the
Yeah.
Italian restaurants too. The Italians that are cooking and serving the wines are saying, "Hey, that's meeting the American palate there too," because it's got the Piedi Rosso that's from
Yep.
Italy, and the Cabernet that's really has.
Do you guys have to go back and
That's
forth a lot, a little, or like,
Well, we just
which isn't a bad thing, right? Like,
Yeah, no.
get to go to Italy to check out some wine.
Yeah.
Can't be too bad.
This would be amazing with a tomahawk in a cast iron, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can just.
Cooking
Very
show,
tasty.
Brian.
There's a little.
Yeah.
There's a little. It's the wrong adjective. There's a little chewiness to it. You can.
The chewy tannin.
Yeah, that tannin is right there on top of it. The dark cherry. I mean, it's just the scent is.
Yeah.
The minerals, the earthiness is what you get up the nose.
Yes.
All right, so
and that's
people that are watching the show, restaurateurs, whoever, how can they find you guys and maybe get a tasting going and maybe
They
bring
can
you in?
find us on Instagram, Florida Vino Imports
Yeah,
okay.
on Instagram, and we actually
Florida _Vino Imports, or where's the
Yes,
underscore? at?
Florida. There's two underscores.
Oh, there's two,
Yeah,
huh?
so it's
That's what
FLA
this
_Vino _imports.
Yes.
Okay.
We also have our
Google it.
website. Yes, our website. If you go to Florida Vino Imports, is right
Okay,
there
great.
too. That'll connect you to all of that. Connect at flavinoimports.com too. We'll
Yep.
get us an email and we can help serve our retailers and get them
Cool.
those pricing sheets, get them samples, and we're expanding our portfolio too because there's 20 wine regions all across Italy, including the islands. We've got an export manager that helps us manage that too. So we're opening up the portfolio even more to some of those other
Cool.
regions of Italy.
Well, great to have you guys on. Thanks so much. Brian, nice job, bud.
Yeah, I'm not leaving.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
There you go. Cheers to you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Make sure you check out their great profile, this conversation, and many, many others at dailynewsnetwork.com website. Until next time, stay safe and be cool and have a little wine, man. We'll see you next time right here on The Horse's Mouth. Cheers.
The team at Heritage Capital Group is special because it's a collection of people across the spectrum.
We have people who have been in the shoes of owners that are looking to buy and sell, and professionals that have executed transactions helping buy and sell companies for decades.
I think when you talk to us, see what our experience is, see what our skills are, see the reach that we have, you'll be very happy with the recommendation.